everybody? This is Alex the Rush. How's everybody doing? All right, this time around we're doing picks for the fight night coming up this Saturday night live on Fox Sports 1. Undercards at 8, main cards at 10. It's Frank Mir versus Mark Hunt. It's being shot in Australia. Now, if you people don't know who you're going to pick, smart money is you might want to go with my picks. Because if you remember correctly, McGregor Diaz, I'm 4 out of 5 on the main card. And really, who's really going to bet against Holly Holmes, really? I sure as heck didn't. And I paid for that, literally. So, everybody just strap in, hang on, and let's go check out my picks. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Alex, known as The Rush. Today I'm talking about UFC Fight Night, Mark Hunt versus Frank Mir. So, as you know, for those that don't know, this is just an opinion channel. So I'm giving you my opinions of who's going to win the fight. I could be completely wrong or I could be completely right. So just tune in and tell me what you think. Let's start with the undercard. I'm not doing the Fight Night passes like I've said. I cannot see them, so there's really no point. Let's start with Chad Laprise, Alan Patrick. Well, Chad Laprise is my pick. They're both well-rounded. They mostly get decisions. But Laprise is just the better fighter in my opinion, and he's got more to gain from this. So that's pretty much my pick. Chad Laprise is going to be Alan Patrick. Next up, we got Rich Walsh and Viscardi Andrade. Now, Rich Walsh has a 9-4 record. Viscardi has 18-7. You probably would go with the guy with the most experience. That's not the case for me. I'm picking Rich Walsh. Rich Walsh, he's got knockout powers. He can go to the distance. He's got very technical striking, and he's got takedowns and wrestling to go with it. Whereas Viscardi, he's got the wrestling, he's got the jiu-jitsu, but the issue is he's never been out of Brazil, so he's got to deal with the different time zones, the change in maybe elevations or something. I don't know. But pretty much, he's fighting on the other side of the world this time, and he's never fought out of Brazil. So that's going to be the big question, how his mindset's going to work. So edge, Rich Walsh. Ben Nugent, Justin Scoggins. Nugent, I'm giving the fight to him because Scoggins has not been impressive in the last few fights. Nugent, he's got the finishing power. He's got knockouts. He's a former bantamweight, so he's actually pretty big for 125. And he's on a massive win streak. So I don't think Scoggins is going to have the advantage in any degree in this fight. He's going to just have to go out there and go ballistic. So edge, Ben Nugent. Last fight of the undercard, we're talking about Brendan O'Reilly and Al Jouban. Now, a lot of people have seen Al Jouban lose the last few fights, but let me tell you something. This guy's got knockout power. He's got very flexible feet, and he's got a 4-inch reach advantage with fists. That's not counting legs yet, so that's going to be something to take into consideration. O'Reilly. Richard O'Reilly, not been impressed with him, really. He's mostly decisions, and he's a submission specialist. He's 1-1 in the UFC, and he's fighting at welterweight. And, you know, I've not been impressed. So I'm giving this fight to Jouban just because of his better stand-up. All right, let's get to the main card. Now, we got Beck Rawlings versus Co. Hyam. If you've seen The Ultimate Fighter, you know who Beck Rawlings is. So I don't have to... But for those that don't know, she's a strong boxer. She's got great submissions. She's 1-1 in the UFC, but she has the height advantage in this fight. She's 5'6", her opponent's 5'2". She was a featherweight, which means she was 145 pounds going down to 115. That's huge. But I'm giving it Rawlings. She's more well-rounded. She's more technical on feet. Hams just lays her chin down and she's going to get tagged. So I'm giving it to Beck Rawlings. James DeHuna, Steve Bose. I don't even really have to think about this fight too hard. I'm giving it to Steve Bose. Bose, he's got knockout power. He finishes with early stoppages. DeHuna, yeah, he's got knockout power, but he's on a 3-fight lose streak, people. And this is his second fight at middleweight, and he got submitted. Okay, last 3 guys, pretty big names. Ovince St. Preux, Shogun, and Nate Marquardt. But still, you can't get starstruck. And Steve Bose, he's probably going to starstruck him. So, edge, Steve Bose, I think he's probably going to get the knockout. Daniel Kennedy versus Antonio Carlos Jr. Both grapplers, really. This is just one of those, who's the better grappler? Carlos, he's a former heavyweight. That's something to keep in mind. He's never been finished, but Dan Kelly, I think, has too much on the ground for him. Judoists are very tricky. They can do all kinds of takedowns and grip throws. So I think that Dan Kelly's just going to get this fight because even though Carlos has a 5-inch reach advantage, if Kelly dictates where the fight goes, he's not going to be able to do much. So edge, Dan Kelly. Now let's get to the next fight. Jake Matthews, Johnny Case. Now, a lot of people would pick Johnny Case in this situation. 12-5 win streak, he's a knockout specialist, and he's decisioned his last 2 opponents. But Jake Matthews, to me, is that he has the one thing that Johnny Case does not have. He's a fast starter, and he can go all rounds. He's well-rounded, he finishes, and he's fast rising. So I think Johnny Case is just too slow starting. I think Jake Matthews is just going to bulldoze right through him. So let's just say Jake Matthews for me. Anyone else disagrees, you're free to comment below. Next fight, Hector Lombard, Neil Magny. Hector Lombard, small, stocky, very muscular, high knockout power, never finished. He's a judoist, but he's been missing for a year because of steroids. So the question is, what was he taking them for? But really, I think the ring rust is going to be too much. And Neil Magny, 80-inch reach to a 71. That's 9 inches, people. That's big. That's huge. That's not counting legs yet. And Magny, he's a finisher, but he mostly has decisioned his last 2 opponents. Split decisions, but they were against very strong grapplers. So I think Magny's going to take this fight. So edge, Neil Magny. Main event of the night, Mark Hunt, Frank Mir. Now, these guys are not young. They're like their late 30s, early 40s. So they're no spring chickens. This is their last opportunity in the UFC probably to make something. Hunt, he's a kickboxer, a lot of knockout power, but he's shorter than most of the heavyweights there, and he's shown he's susceptible to grapplers. Whereas Frank Mir, he's a 2-time heavyweight champion because he's got knockout power, and he's got great submissions. So I think Frank Mir is going to get this fight to the ground, and he's just going to submit Mark Hunt. Or he's going to break something off. He's done it before. He might do it again. So my edge goes to Frank Mir. Well, that's all my picks for now, folks. So I'll catch you all after the fights. Remember, Fox Sports 1, 8 is the undercard, 10 is the main card. I'll see you guys after the fights. And let me know at the bottom who you guys think is going to win the fights. All right, Alex the Rush, out.